Welcome back to Football News and Tips. Some of our calls last week landed perfectly, and this week promises even more drama. It's week 6 of the Premier League, and we've got everything: Manchester United's trip to Brentford, Chelsea trying to bounce back at Stamford Bridge, Liverpool with unfinished business at Selhurst Park, City desperate for points against Burnley, and the big one, Newcastle versus Arsenal at St James's Park. We're also checking out Leeds versus Bournemouth, Nottingham versus Sunderland, Spurs at home to Wolves, Aston Villa's search for their first win against Fulham, and the Monday night clash between Everton and West Ham. 10 fixtures, 10 predictions. So stick with me to the end, because the surprises this week are even bigger than last time. So don't go anywhere, because I'll break down every single game with my analysis, my trends, and of course my predictions. Remember, like I always say, don't just play the correct scores I give you. Use these predictions for team wins, draws, or goals markets. But if you're brave enough, you can stick with the correct scorelines too. So don't fail to hit that subscribe button to join our wonderful community of football lovers. We kick things off in West London at the Brentford Community Stadium with Brentford versus Manchester United. The last time United managed a win here was back in 2022, and since then Brentford have been a nightmare for them at home. United coming off that big win against Chelsea, and with Cunha and Mason Mount back in the squad, they'll feel confident. But can they finally collect points against a so-called small club away from home? They know a draw won't be enough. My prediction: Brentford 2, Manchester United 3. From West London, let's move across to Stamford Bridge, Chelsea versus Brighton. Chelsea are in a rough patch, just 1 point from their last 2 games, and that loss to United made things even worse. Fans are calling for a reaction, and they'll expect nothing less than a win at home. But Brighton aren't in much better shape, also with just 1 point from their last 2. It's desperation versus desperation at the Bridge. Historically, Chelsea have edged this fixture at home, but it's never been easy. Expect a battle, and expect tension. My prediction: Chelsea 2, Brighton 1. From Stamford Bridge, we travel to Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. This fixture has a little unfinished business. Remember, Palace beat Liverpool in the Community Shield. Now, with Ismaila Sarr back from injury, that's a big attacking boost for them. Liverpool, on the other hand, have been ruthless in attack but fragile in defence. They've conceded in almost every game this season. Add to that Ekitike suspension, and it could be a tricky evening. But Liverpool haven't lost yet in the league, Palace are unbeaten too, so something has to give. Goals, drama, and a big test for Slot. My prediction: Crystal Palace 2, Liverpool 2. Now we go up north to Elland Road, Leeds versus Bournemouth. Leeds shocked everyone with their huge win away to Wolves last weekend. Bournemouth, though, are quietly flying under the radar, already on 10 points, sitting comfortably in mid-table, and proving they can score goals. Leeds at home are tough, but Bournemouth are that classic stubborn away side. This will be scrappy, this will be tight, but Bournemouth have enough edge to sneak something. My prediction: Leeds 1, Bournemouth 2. From Leeds, let's head across to the Etihad Stadium, Manchester City versus Burnley. Now this is a must-win for City. Sitting 9th in the table is unacceptable by their standards. Pep Guardiola knows that matches like these are where they must pile up points. Burnley will work hard, but City's midfield depth is too much. The only question is margin, not whether they win. Manchester City 3, Burnley 0. Next, we head to the City ground, Nottingham Forest versus Sunderland. Since Postecoglou took charge of Forest, fans are still waiting for that first win. Sunderland, meanwhile, are stubborn but struggle badly on the road. Forest have drawn too many games already, but this is the perfect chance to finally get 3 points. It won't be pretty, but it could be vital. My prediction: Nottingham Forest 1, Sunderland 0. From Nottingham, we make our way to North London, Tottenham versus Wolves. This fixture has been Wolves' playground in recent years, but they're coming off a poor loss to Leeds. Tottenham, meanwhile, were frustrated by Brighton, but being back at home is massive for them. The new-look Spurs under Thomas Frank have shown signs of resilience, and this is where they can flex their muscles. My prediction, Tottenham 3, Wolves 1. Now to Villa Park, Aston Villa vs Fulham. Oh, Villa fans must be pulling their hair out. Sitting 18th, their worst start in years, and still no wins on the board. Fulham, meanwhile, are unbeaten, flying high, and full of confidence. Villa should be desperate, but desperation doesn't always equal results. This one feels like goals on both sides and yet another stalemate. My prediction, Aston Villa 2 Fulham 2. Then comes the blockbuster, St James Park, Newcastle vs Arsenal. Arsenal fans know this is one of their toughest away trips. St James Park is a fortress, and Newcastle love making life hard for them. But this season, Arsenal need these points to stay in the title race. With Soccer fit again and Eze ready to start, the Gunners have weapons. History says it's tough, but this could be their moment. Newcastle might push for a draw, but I'm going bold. My prediction, Newcastle 0 Arsenal 2. And finally, we wrap up Week 6 on Monday night at Goodison Park, Everton vs West Ham. Under the lights, it's often chaos. Both sides have been inconsistent, and honestly, I don't see either team pulling away. This has a tight draw written all over it. My prediction, Everton 1 West Ham 1. And that's it, all 10 matches predicted for Premier League Week 6. From United's tricky trip to Brentford, to Arsenal's blockbuster clash with Newcastle, this week could completely shake up the table. Now, I want to hear from you, which prediction do you agree with? Which do you think I got wrong? And do you see any shockers coming? Drop your comments below, hit the like button if you enjoyed the breakdown, and don't forget to subscribe to Football News and Tips for more predictions, analysis, and football stories every single week. And remember, the Premier League is never short of surprises. Just look at last week, underdogs came out swinging, big clubs stumbled, and managers were left scratching their heads. That's what makes this league the most unpredictable in the world. You can do all the analysis, look at all the stats, and still, one goal, one mistake, or one moment of brilliance can change everything. That's why these predictions are fun. It's not just about calling the scores, it's about reading the storylines. Can Arsenal really go unbeaten for another week? Will Manchester City, sitting uncomfortably mid-table, remind everyone why they're champions? And what about Manchester United? Was that win against Chelsea the start of something bigger, or just another flash before the same old inconsistency creeps back in? Even teams lower down the table have everything to fight for. Brentford, Fulham, Bournemouth, these aren't just fixtures, they're battles that can decide who stays up and who gets dragged into a relegation fight months from now. Every point matters, and Week 6 could be a turning point for more than one club. So keep your eyes on the weekend action, enjoy the drama, and most importantly, remember, these are predictions, not guarantees. Football is unpredictable, and that's why we love it. Always watch responsibly, bet responsibly if you do, and never forget that the game is bigger than the numbers. Stick around, stay subscribed, and don't miss Week 7 predictions, because if you thought Week 6 looked tasty, trust me, the drama only gets bigger from here.